Point number two, that's about no member may, whether within or outside the Dewan, by conduct, action, or words ridicule, dispute, show contempt for, or deliberately refuse to obey such ruling of the chair. Mr. Speaker, you may be the Lord in this house, but outside this house, we are subject to the same law and constitution. You can't regulate what I'm doing or what I say, how I act outside this Dewan. Is it? And also, Mr. Speaker, it is a cardinal convention a cardinal convention in Westminster's practice, which we are. This is a House of Commons, and you have always mentioned the opposition shall have his say, the government shall have its way. Now you are trying to even take away our right to have its say. My God, Mr. Speaker, that is not right. And also, Mr. Speaker, even court judgment is subject to dispute, subject to comment. There are so many legal articles about criticizing certain court judgment.
How you say, what you say, the words you choose, the phraseologies you use, they all matter. You are an honorable member of this august house. You cannot be blasé using seditious,
Mr. Speaker, since when I use sedition
libelous
I've been here
words
for 30
and all
years.
that.
Mr. Speaker,
You are a member of this house.
yes, I know.
You have to choose your words, your phraseology carefully.
Yes.
You be considerate and thoughtful about it.
Yes, I
If you are
know.
blasé about it, you are also subjected to the law.
Yes, I'm subject to the law, Mr.
You have no
Speaker.
license to criticize anybody if the veracity of that statement is questionable and the source is not verified. Surely this house has the right. Surely this house has the
Mr.
right
Speaker.
to regulate its meetings.
Mr. Speaker.
Surely this house has the right
The Speaker
to
doesn't
judge
speak.
the words you use, the phraseologies you use.
The Speaker doesn't speak. That is the rule of our parliamentary convention. The Speaker doesn't speak. But if you are, Mr. Speaker, you are prepared to make a decision that is so one-sided or impartial, that is subject to criticism of the public. Bearing in mind, this is a House of Commons, the House of common people. This is not the House of the elites. This is a House of Commons where the common people of Sarawak, they form their opinion, they form their court of judgment outside. And your decision binds in this room, this house, this Dewan. Outside the Dewan, I can give comment. Anyone can give comment on how the Speaker decided whether it is fair, whether it is not fair.
In this house, a member enjoys immunity. Outside, you repeat it. You are talking about Westminster. How thick is a book on libel? How many statements have been sued in court in England?
Mr. Speaker, I'm just saying,
Democracy, under the
commenting
law
on
of
your
libel,
ruling
takes
outside
away
the
that
Dewan.
right.
Commenting on your ruling outside the Dewan. Disputing on your ruling outside the Dewan. I can dispute, I don't agree with you. I am entitled to not agree with you, and I'm entitled to speak my mind that I do not agree with your judgment or ruling in this house. Is that wrong? And in this proposed amendment, you are going to take away my right of that.
You are allowed to disagree.
Mr. Speaker, that's why
But when you disagree
I cannot agree to
contemptuously
this
and
amendment.
use words that are libelous,
I'm not using words that are libelous.
that is why it's being judged.
The words here,
You are not being gagged. You
no,
are
the
not being
words
gagged.
here, dispute. The proposed amendment here, dispute. Okay, I agree, man. I may not be allowed to bring you, to ridicule you, to show contempt of you. your ruling. All right? But definitely outside this Dewan, I am entitled to not to obey your ruling. And I am entitled to dispute your ruling. I am entitled to not disagree with you. Is that the right that you are going to take away with this proposed amendment? Is that the intention of this proposed amendment? This is ridiculous. Mr. Speaker, we are elected by people here to speak without fear and favor. And you are trying to instill fear into member of Parliament, member of State Assemblymen in their debate.
You can speak without fear or favor, but with facts.
Yes, facts.
Facts.
I've always laid out the facts.
Then why are you always landed in court and you lose the case? How many
Mr.
times
Speaker,
have you been sued?
Mr. Speaker,
You have been sued.
Mr. Speaker,
How many times?
once
And you have to pay.
Mr. Speaker,
Don't tell this house you are talking facts and truth. You have
you
been
are
sued.
getting very personal in this matter already.
You lose your
You are
case.
getting very personal. But as a speaker, you have to be impartial. And the speaker doesn't debate with me, argue with me.
didn't see you.
The person to argue with me is the minister, not you.
I did not see you.
Is that your motion?
But because you address it to me and you take it personal, I never sue you. The other members sued you and you lost the case. You had to pay a fine. How many times?
I did
You
not-
insulted the government about black hole and so forth, and then you're fined. You are not talking about facts.
There is no fine. Mr. Speaker, choose your word properly. I was not fined.
You
Mr.
have to pay
Speaker.
damages.
Damages. That is
Yeah.
not fine.
It's
You
the
know the
same thing
difference,
you have to
Mr.
pay.
Speaker. You have to know the difference. Fine and damages is different. And mind you, Mr. Speaker, the case is on appeal.
Don't
To
quote
appeal.
Donald
And up
Trump.
to today, the
Donald
judge has
Trump-
not written judgment on my
Donald
case.
Trump is convicted felon. You are quoting him.
Why is that?
Donald Trump is a convicted felon. You are quoting him as an example.
And you want to condemn him from across the
We
board.
don't need to
the court.
contact. He's
Are you going to
convicted
condemn
by
him?
the court in New York.
I'm not praising him. I'm just saying a fact that he was elected as the president,
How
and
many,
I use that as an example that with the
How many
with this
times have
proposed
been sued
amendment,
in the High
you
Court of
can't-
Borneo?
You can't even.
How many
talk
times
about
have you
that.
been sued in
Mr.
Borneo?
Speaker, you say that he's a convicted felon. How do you know that? Did you
Okay.
verify that? Did you verify? Did you call him out? Did you call the Department of Justice?
I'll ask the minister to do the winding up. Now, you demonstrate a conduct. That is why the standing order has to be regulated. This type of conduct. You speak for yourself. With this conduct, you are demonstrating why the amendments are necessary to curb this sort of conduct. Okay, Honorable Minister, you went up. So, went up. Honorable members, surely this Dewan has the right to regulate how the meeting should be, what the word should be. Surely, if you tell lie about me, I will tell the truth about you. Okay.